Hello and welcome to episode, believe it or not, 11 of the Give My Head podcast. I'm Tim McGarry here with my comedy colleagues.
Michael McDowell.
Damon Quinn.
Thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't been before, you haven't listened before, where the hell have you been? We've had all sorts of people on this show. We've had everybody from Shane Todd to Naomi Long, everybody in between. First of all, can I thank our wonderful sponsors, Drip Cafe on the Ulmer Road. A very nice bunch of people. Drip, your coffee is superb.
Lovely.
They do a superb brunch. And if you go into Drip on the Ulmer Road and you say, give my head some peace, they will give you what? They will give you 20% off your food, ladies and gentlemen. What a bargain that is. 20% just for listening to a podcast, just for saying, give my head some peace. They are been wonderful. They also do a fantastic brunch. They do a Hong Kong French toast, which I saw on television. Somebody else does this, but they do the best Hong Kong French toast, which is French toast, believe it or not, with peanut butter in the middle of it. Go for it, ladies and gentlemen. Olivia Nash, you didn't like the sound of that, Olivia, did you?
That sounded great till you came to the peanut butter.
Peanut butter and French toast?
Peanut butter. Oh, no, peanut butter to me is like eating sand. You know that.
Yeah, you're only on in the podcast for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You've already slagged off
Yeah.
our sponsors. Great job, Olivia.
I
Thank you very much.
No, I'm just sitting here loving the sound of it. Can't wait till this is over to get away over it.
No, their coffee is superb. They're a great bunch of
Seriously.
people. Drip, go to Drip, get 20% off, and their coffee is superb. Ladies and gentlemen, as I say, this is episode 11. We've had everybody. We've had comedians. We've all sorts of people, but people have been writing in saying we want to hear from some of the people and Give My Head Peace. We've had Ali Ford. She was all right. We've had Paddy Jenkins, but
First superstar.
we've saved the best,
first
ladies and
superstar.
gentlemen, for episode 11. It is the queen of comedy herself. She's sometimes called the what do you call it? The national treasure. It is the national treasure herself. Olivia Nash, ladies and gentlemen. Olivia. Thank you very much for joining us, Olivia, and thank you for being sober. It's 11:30 in the morning.
Well, you got me at a good time.
We got you at a good time.
You know, but listen, thank you very much indeed for having me. I was sort of beginning to wonder when I was going to be asked.
Oh, we're
you know,
saving
a wee
you.
bit,
We're
you know,
saving you for the...
But no, it's great.
Listen, couple of apologies. First of all, for all the height jokes, of which there have been 187,000. I counted them up.
And more to come.
And more to come. And secondly, for slagging off your hometown, which is, of course,
Larne.
Larne. We slagged Larne off, but you were from Larne, and you lived briefly in Belfast, and you're now back in
You are
Larne.
proud
Yes.
to be from Larne.
I'm proud, very proud to be from Larne. I'm Larne, born and bred.
Right.
And it hasn't done me any harm. You know what I mean? But I was living in Belfast for a while there, and I was sitting one night, and there was nothing much in the TV, and I was thinking, I'm going home. And it just hit me like that. So home I went, and I am really happy being back in Larne, because the lovely thing is I've all my friends still here, and then my old friends,
Your old friends
from
in
Larne.
Larne. Oh,
Mind you, they're dwindling.
God, don't say that. Don't say that.
In a height way or
Under the ground.
Oh, when you get to that point where you
Check
open
the
your
Irish
eyes.
News, mate.
You open your eyes.
Every
you-
morning. Oh, thank God.
Still alive.
Still alive.
Now, don't take this the wrong, but you're a mature lady, aren't you?
Oh, I'm very mature, yes.
Oh, we
I'm
still
like
have you
I'm like a
working.
good cheese.
We still have you working. Are you going to say what age you are? Do you want to tell people?
Oh, no, I
what
don't
age-
care. I'm 82.
You're 82.
Uh-huh.
And we still have you out
82
working.
years young.
Uh-huh. For a long time, I didn't bother to... I'll tell you why. A long time, I didn't say what my age was, because, do you see, with agents and people like that, they... No disrespect to agents, they're great, but they would hear... Sometimes they would hear your age and immediately dismiss you. Do you know what I mean? They would, all these people make up their mind, oh, she wouldn't be able to do that. So that's why I was.
well, that's because you were trying to do the Marilyn Monroe
Well, there
body
is
double.
that. There is that, but I didn't. I did it in Rome, but
Well, agents have been dismissing me from was in my 20s. So
no. But it's no. I'm very proud, and it's all the years that
We
I've
still
known.
have you out working. We still have you on tour every year.
Oh, good
doing
Lord,
25,
yes.
30 shows.
Uh-huh.
And you do brilliantly well, and
Thank
people
you.
love you. And we're very. Well, you're kind of an essential part. You're one of the few people who've been in every single episode of Give My Head Peace.
I have,
Which we
and
can't
proud.
remember how many there are. Well, there's 100 and something we reckon, but you've been in every single episode.
Yeah,
haven't you?
and loved every one of them.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few, but mostly loved every one of them, you know. But I have to say this about the boys. Here's the three of them here, which is great. They write terrifically.
They write terrifically.
It's probably
they write terrifically.
They write terrifically.
That's probably wrong.
Tim,
That's probably wrong grammatically.
Yeah.
But for all of the characters, but I think especially for me, I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I'm still loving it.
No, we have Christmas special coming out this year, which we haven't written yet, by the way, I'm afraid to say.
That's all right.
But don't worry about it. We're recording on the 18th of December. It'll be fine. There will be a show.
Be grand in the night.
And we're on tour next year. So you've been with us since late 1980s when you
That's
did
right.
stuff for us on a show called The Show that the BBC refuses to talk about. Do you remember
That's
the show?
correct. And you wrote the sketches for myself and Birdie Sweeney.
Birdie
the
Sweeney.
late, wonderful,
Birdie Sweeney,
fabulous
yes.
Birdie Sweeney. Do you know Birdie Sweeney? I'm sure you remember this. Birdie Sweeney was one of the few people who actually worked the day he was buried.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
That's right.
It was he was playing the boxer.
Yeah.
And it was pre-recorded. And poor Birdie died. We all went down to the house the night before because we weren't going to be able to go to the funeral because we were recording. Right. And there was Birdie being buried and appearing the eye of the tiger.
That's right. He knocked out BJ Hogg.
Yes.
What was his name?
I can't remember, but he was brilliant.
He was brilliant. He did that whole routine, getting into the ring and
the ring.
going through the ropes and coming out of the ropes and getting into the ropes. And
then getting all twisted in the ropes. And then as he was coming down the aisle, the punching and all like this here, and his wee dressing gown, oh God, he was that skinny. His wee dressing gown near fell off.
Is that why he was called Birdie? Because he looked a bit like a bird. He was so big. There was damn all to him.
I think, strictly speaking, why he was called Birdie was his act years ago. He was a whistler.
He was a whistler?
Yes.
Thrower.
Did you not know that?
I didn't know that, no.
No, he whistled. And
imitated birds.
As in birds. He whistled and, he was amazing. His monastery garden was amazing. But
did he get lots of work?
Oh, yeah. No, that was in the concerts.
This is pre-internet days, ladies and gentlemen, when a man impersonating birds could make a living in showbiz.
He used to
That set me off.
There's probably a pod. There's probably a YouTube channel now of bird impressions.
Thanks for everyone.
Hope to God his wife's not listening to this. But anyway, no, Birdie was, and that was why. And he was seemingly, he was amazing at it. And he did all the concerts and everything. And then something went wrong with his teeth. Did you not know that?
You couldn't whistle.
He lost his whistle, as most of us have. But anyway, he was.
It's like a gunslinger getting his arm.
Exactly. But I loved him.
But could he get on new teeth in or anything?
Well, he did, but they didn't work for the cat. He was that skinny. Did you never notice? Birdie was that skinny, his teeth fell out. His teeth went up and down a bit. But anyway, I loved him. And you all wrote
Stan and
Cordelia.
God.
And that was, it was brilliant because his show was collapsing around everybody.
That's right.
And it was great. And poor Birdie and I, we hadn't a clue. We hadn't a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
And
just for listeners, there's a very controversial show called The Show in 1989, a live show that came out of Belfast. And it was a variety show. There were bands, there were comedy sketches and stuff, but it was very controversial because the first episode had a man impersonating Ian Paisley, being very crude. There was a woman singing "Can I Have the Abortion or
The
Not?"
Fundamentalist Unified Church of Carnology.
Yeah, Carnology.
Was what he was. Yes.
It was so controversial that the next day the show must go, and literally was pretty shoulder shot. It was very, and the show must go, really controversial at the time. But it lasted 3 seasons. And
It did.
Started our writing career, and it started our relationship with you.
We should have taken that as a sign, really, shouldn't we?
it's a sign. That's right, because I was in shared dressing room with Paisley's daughter,
Rhonda.
Rhonda, a lovely, lovely girl. And in our innocence, you see, as the audience will know, whenever you're doing something like that, the camera follows you around, and there's all sorts of things going on away down there and
set in
over
a live
here.
bar,
And it's set in a live bar. So we hadn't a clue what was going on. And so Birdie and I, we did our wee bit. And then that was us. I mean, we didn't have to bother with anybody. And so there we were sitting in our dressing room. Well, cheerio now. See you next week. Bye-bye. Look us here. And all the rest. And she was a lovely girl. And God help her whenever she got home that night. I mean, I suppose it was, her daddy would have been raging, you know. So she didn't come back. And
he sent a fax saying she was resigning from the show.
That's right.
Damon Holmes resigned from the show.
Eamon Holmes resigned, and I very nearly died because of the show. For I thought my mum was going to kill me.
You were in trouble with your mum.
I went in the house. I went in the house, you know, all full of it, you know, because it was, according to me, it was great. Not knowing, as I say, what had gone on, and my mother's sitting there, and she says, "That was a thing."
She didn't mean that as a compliment.
No, she didn't. And but I think, bless her, I think she didn't understand. I'm not being insulting to my mother, but she knew there was something, and what she didn't like, some of the things were said. And according to her, I was right there in the middle of it, you know.
Yeah.
But no, we went on for 3 seasons, and it was great, crack.
And horrible doing it live as well.
It was live, yeah. It
must
was
be
one of the
nerve-wracking.
few live things. And you wrote, you were the last people that wrote for me, and so that was really nearly the 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's
And up to then, we knew you as Fred There's No Bread.
That's right.
That's how we knew you, from the TV doing Fred There's No
Bread,
Bread.
no bread. That
Well,
was-
my ma probably knew you from Jimmy Young days. James Young.
Yes,
My
yes.
ma would have gone to see Jimmy Young in the group theatre, and then my mother and father loved Jimmy Young.
I was very, very happy. That was the start of my career.
As a
And
teenager, you were a
I
child.
was a child. I was only a child. I started off in amateur drama. As you probably know. And 1 year, and I must admit I was very fortunate. I won quite a lot of lovely prizes. But anyway, best actress and things like that. So 1 year, I was...
Just throw that out.
I just did you
hear that?
Did you get that all right?
Best actress.
Do you want me to repeat
Well,
it?
Lauren Drama Group.
Lauren Drama
1951.
Circle. 1952. So anyway, it was 1963, and I had just done a play, and Jimmy Young and Hibby Wilmot were in the audience that night. And the next day, it was lovely. In those days, it was either a telephone call or a letter you got. You know, there was none of this other carry on. So anyway, they both got in touch with me, inviting me to come along and meet them.
Right.
I did that, and Hibby Wilmot was he was the Arts Theatre.
Right.
And he was a very nice gentleman and all, but I just didn't feel... I don't know. Anyway, I went to Jimmy, and he offered me a part. And I went in there in the October to his...
63.
And I was there right through to internment.
Oh, that's when it all stopped,
That's
wasn't
what,
it?
literally, we were off. We were off on a break, and we were to go back in on the 8th, I think, of August. Would that have been? Am I right?
9th of August was internment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
See how old we are, children of the
you can
Troubles, we
remember
know
that,
sort of thing.
children of the troubles. So
9th of August, 71.
That's right. So anyway, we were. I mean, it was brilliant. Well, God, it wasn't brilliant, but it was all right during the troubles, because we would have been sitting there, you know, and you'd heard bang, 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 and the people just. Like I say, and then settled in, you know, and this was in the group, and then every now and again there'd be another boom, and the dust and all would come down a bit on us, and but we never
show went on.
Oh, we were at the windmill.
You went down a bomb.
We went down, ba-boom, I like it, my darling. So anyway, that was that. We went on holiday, and we were to go back in on the 8th of August, and on the 9th of August, internment was declared, and everything, as you know, everything closed down. Everywhere went dark, and there was no theatre. There was nothing. And there we were, out of work. But it was...
And that was your sole job at that time, yeah?
no,
I know.
that's the thing. when I joined the group theatre, unless you were of means in those days, and there were quite a few people in the theatre who were of means, we all had to have another job.
Right, okay.
Because my pay when I went into the group was £3 a week.
Right.
And you had to live within a 5-mile radius of the theatre.
Right, okay.
Because, I mean, you couldn't ring up and say, I'm sorry, I've missed the bus, you know. And so that was that. So I worked in health and social services for years.
All right, okay.
And but I was very lucky because I seemed to have the ability to take one hat off and put another hat on, you know, like, you know, be able to...
Like Tommy Cooper.
Like Tommy Cooper. yeah. So anyway, that was that. But
Did Jimmy taught you a lot, did he?
Oh,
Or did
my
you-
Lord, yes.
Or did you, I mean, you obviously spotted your talent.
Well, he did, and-
so he obviously saw something in you.
Very much, thank you very much. So people sometimes, which has been a great asset to me in our show, about my timing. And everything like that. I learned all that from Jimmy Young.
But Jimmy
Not from us.
was-
What are you talking about from us?
No,
it's
mate,
actually-
no, I've been trying to teach you. But everybody is a failure in their life.
Jimmy was a funny guy. Like, I mean,
Very
I
funny.
mean, even without a script.
Oh, good Lord,
But
yes.
he, I think he once told me that he didn't like other people being funny on stage with him. So if you had a funny
Exactly.
line,
Well, funny enough, I was just going to tell you that if I have time. It's in the plays, you believe it or not, we were not allowed to ad-lib, just as you're saying. But in every play, there would be maybe a paragraph of about this size here, which was Jimmy's. Mm-hmm. And he was deliberately wrote it this way, so as that all the things that were going on, you know, in the world, he expanded it in this
Wee monologue
this
thing.
monologue, yeah, and it grew and it grew and it grew. And God loves every time the first thing you did whenever we read through it was you looked to see, oh dear God, please don't let me be the person coming in after him.
Right, okay.
Because now give him his due, he always gave you your cue, but you were like, you were going like this here, you know, like waiting for it. But as you said, Damon, you butt in. Oh.
Didn't like anybody stealing his laughs.
No.
but also if you got a laugh with your line, the next night it was
Next
Jimmy's
night,
line, wasn't it?
next night the lights were down a bit.
Yeah.
Jimmy, do you know that Jimmy Logan in Scotland used to do that?
Would turn the lights down.
Yes. Jimmy Logan's play, and now I wouldn't go as far as to say Jimmy did that, like all of it, but Jimmy Logan's way was. The first bit was on and it was very funny and they were enjoying it, and then Jimmy Logan came on, whoop, came the lights, and people react, you
Right,
see,
okay,
to
yeah.
that. But no.
Now you're on the show now and you have to tell us
What?
your my favourite Jimmy Young story, and you got to bear in mind now that this is a podcast, so you can have free reign. It's uncensored. You know, you got to give us the uncensored version. But tell us the Jimmy Young story about the time he was in the bed and breakfast in Dublin.
Oh, I'm not telling that. Oh, my Lord. No, Damon, I couldn't. Do you know that there's people actually quite sometimes respect me a wee bit? Not anymore. Oh, Damon, I couldn't. I really couldn't.
Well, I tell him.
But it was very funny. Now you tell it.
You get to tell it. It's her dirty voice. You tell it.
Well, if you tell me if I'm telling it right.
All right, you go.
Now,
ahead.
they're down in this bed and breakfast in Dublin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this couple come down for breakfast, and they're a bit dishevelled and haven't had a nice night together. And the girl calls the waitress down, and she says, excuse me, there's a hair in the butter. A hair in the butter. And the waitress looks at her sort of, you know, north side Dublin and goes, ha! Lying with a man's cock in your mouth all night and you're complaining about
There's a hair in the butter. That will be cut, won't it?
She tells it better though. I prefer it.
I was that woman.
Take two, we'll tell him what Olivia tells him.
I was not. Oh, I'm feeling as
You
if I
see,
get
you're
off.
you're too polite, aren't you, for that sort of thing?
I'm
You
getting
don't-
into awful trouble here.
No, you're all right. You're all right. It's okay. It's a podcast. Everybody.
Oh, I- Oh, gee. Bless you.
But Jimmy was fun to work with, was he? You said he was. I mean,
He was
speaking of the dead, he was a brilliant performer. He was a wee bit tight on.
Oh, did you tight? The most money I ever earned in the group theatre, and that was right opposite, say, to 1971, was £10 a week.
Aye, could you probably buy a house or a car with £10 in those days, could you?
Well, I couldn't. But it was, it was all right.
But it was quite a small house, wasn't it? I mean,
I was a small house. I was the turret, sort of the dump. But anyway, no, Jimmy was... He was an amazing man.
Yeah.
And a very, very talented man.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people didn't realise that Jimmy was a lovely straight actor as well.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him in Night Must Fall. He played Danny in Night Must Fall. It was out of this world.
Yeah.
But that was all I ever saw him in. And then he and Jack met up. Jack was in the Air Force, I think it was, and that's whenever they met up.
that's Jack Hudson.
Jack Hudson, sorry.
Yeah.
Jack Hudson.
Jack was his partner, was he?
Jack was his partner, and he
was a tall English guy.
was a tall, with the black dyed hair. Oh, Jack was...
Again, sorry, the younger listeners might go, who the hell's Jimmy Young? Jimmy Young was a legend.
Oh, sorry,
a
yes.
legend of, a legend of comedy from the late 60s, early 70s. He died in 1974, but if you're talking about Northern Ireland comedy...
And not the DJ.
He was big on, not the DJ, he was big on stage, but he also had his own TV series.
Oh, he had
a couple
everything.
of albums that were massive, and people of a certain generation, my parents would have gone, I would have been brought up on sort of Jimmy Young records and stuff like that. And he died in 1970. And between 74 and kind of us and Paddy Keelty in the late, there was nothing.
There was nothing.
You know?
That's
but
why
Jimmy was a legend, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He was a massive star. But I mean, I'm not being prurient about this because he had a partner and he was gay, which wasn't, you know...
That wasn't the thing,
It wasn't the
actually,
thing in the late
those days.
60s or early 70s in Northern Ireland. Was that I mean, I presume everybody who worked with him knew, but... Was it hidden from the public, or what was that?
We did know, but we didn't know any more than the general. I mean, I have to say, maybe I'm very naive, but I think I've told you this before. I worked with him all those years, and I never once, honestly, saw anything untoward.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, how he led his life, I don't know, but all... In theatre, he was amazing. He could be as tight as a duck's, you know what, but he knew what he wanted. He had to get what he wanted, you know what I mean? There was no messing about. There was never a case of saying, well, actually, Jimmy, I don't think I could do that. Boom, boom, you did it.
Yeah.
And it was, but I'll never forget, he was kind. He could be very cruel on stage, but he also could be very kind. I remember one night I was approaching I always played the wee hard Loyalist woman, and I'm coming up the door, you know, in character like this here, rang the doorbell like this, and as I rang the doorbell, I couldn't have told you who it was, where it was, or what. I swear that never happened to me.
Tim does that all the time.
Well, I noticed that, but shh, he'll maybe catch on if he listens well enough. So anyway, God love him, the door opened. And he saw my face, which must have been a picture. And he says, I suppose you're here to complain about the so-and-so.
All right, yeah.
And just like that.
Yeah.
Was that wonderful?
Yeah, that's very good.
You played the wee Loyalist woman.
Always.
Didn't you get...
Did you want? Can I tell that wee story?
Yeah.
Right. Well, very quickly. We had a lovely wee lady called Mrs. McDevitt. And Mrs. McDevitt was on the door. And Mrs. McDevitt would not let anybody put one foot on those stairs. No man, no nothing, up the stairs. So anyway, this day Miss McDevitt rang me and she said, Olivia, could you come down? There's a parcel here for you. So down I goes, and there's this parcel, and it was in really, you know, rough paper, and I called about hairy cord, you know, and it was wrapped up. So anyway, I said, oh, who was it? She says, this gentleman. And so I took it up and I opened it. And here, I still have most of it, were all the memorabilia, you know. There was King Billy, a tablecloth with King Billy and his horse in the middle, and all the various, you know, scenes. There was headscarves, there was handkerchiefs, there was just everything.
Orange memories.
Or orange memorabilia, sorry. So that was that. So that happened 2 or 3 times. And I remember saying, you know, I'd love to say thank you to him, you know. But no, Miss McDevitt did not allow me to meet him. So that was all right. And the first one I got, there was a wee card in it, and it said, Miss Nash, there are few of us left.
And you wanted to meet him.
There are a few of us left.
Me, a take, playing a wee bit. So anyway, that was all right, and so I didn't hear from Frida. The next thing, this letter arrived, beautiful. You know the invitations to get a real proper cardboard. You know, like this here. There was nearly a black binder in it. But anyway, I got this, and I opened it, and what it said was, "Dear Miss Nash, we invite you to unfurl our new banner at LOL, whatever it was, like this here." And I thought, Lord good, I just couldn't do that. I mean, I wouldn't have done it to the wee man.
He
It
was
would have been...
confusing the character with the person. As
Oh,
you
no,
said. He didn't want the actor. He wanted
No,
like,
no. It was the character.
Right.
He believed the character was me.
Right. Okay.
Because that's how good an actress I was.
You see,
But anyway,
you couldn't see the Lauren Teague in you at all.
no sign of the Teague at all. So anyway, I was Teagless. So anyway, I thought, oh my Lord God, what am I going to
Go
do
on and
with this?
furl the banner for the lads. Go on.
So anyway, bless Jimmy, he saved me because oh God, I wouldn't have hurt him. You know, he's a lovely wee man, and
He's doing 20 years or
he would have been shot with Santa, you know. So anyway, Jimmy wrote to him and said how much Miss Nash appreciated the invitation, but unfortunately he did not allow his cast to take on anything.
You missed out on some orange juice and tray bakes.
By
didn't you?
Jove,
Yeah,
I
didn't
did.
You
I
certainly
know,
did.
and a turkey sandwich. A cranberry. Oh, no, cranberry's new. It's only now you get cranberry in a turkey sandwich, isn't it?
But people, they thought you were genuine, you know.
Oh, genuine,
and now
yes.
They think you and I don't get on, and I'm horrible to you all the time, which is partially true, to be fair. But
Well,
you
it
know,
is a wee bit, but I love it.
You say that in a certain way.
Oh no, it's great. I seriously, I'm very, very lucky. I love every minute of it. I
Well,
really
not
do.
Well, I'm lucky because I'm one of the few people who can say that I have two Ma's.
Yeah.
I've had two Ma's in my life.
Thank you. Well, funny, Ali says that too. But I have to say a lovely wee thing about Ali.
Ali Ford.
Ali Ford,
Don't
sorry.
bother. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't
Well,
bother.
it's, how much am I getting? Right.
How much is she
much you
paying you?
So, but Ali and I, just very quickly, on the very first day that Ali was in the show as Dimna.
Right.
And we came in to the studio, and I had my dressing room, and I said, "Is Ali not joining us?" And they said, "Yes, a certain lady." She says, "She's upstairs." So I went up, and God love the critter. She was sitting there, like there was a tumbleweed, you know, was whistling up the hall. And I said, "Ali, come on." And she says, "Are you sure?" So anyway, Ali came down the stairs into my dressing room, and 25 years later, we're still sharing the dressing
Get
room.
rid of her. Yeah.
And that's our friend.
She
That's-
supplies you with the vodka and stuff.
well, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a nice new Belfast gin. I kind of like she's getting me up.
So you say you've loved every minute, but you haven't quite loved every single minute of it. There was a time we got a lot of birds in. Do you
Oh,
remember
gee,
the
well.
turkeys? Do you remember the episode where we
Yes.
didn't know you had a phobia of birds?
Oh, dear Lord God.
And
What-
we had an episode where Dad, I think, thought he was getting 100 frozen turkeys, but in fact the turkeys were live turkeys, and we put you in the set.
I'll never forget it.
Put you on the table on top of. He
I was
stand on top of the
what
table.
seemingly happened was whenever I was very tiny, when I was tiny, did you catch that? Anyway, there was this place in Larne, you go for a walk, we walked actually down through a farmyard.
Right.
And seemingly, I tell this story, but I honestly don't remember it. And this big goose came, I mean, that's not the noise a goose makes, but anyway, it came at me.
Where's Birdie Sweeney when you need him?
Where's
A goose!
Help!
What type of goose are we talking about here?
Big goose tall but long. I knew where the neck stuck out like this here, and it literally took a big wedge out of my leg. That's why I'm so wee.
Oh, right.
So seriously, and well, seemingly that's where my phobia. I mean,
All right.
I really, really, really
Don't like birds.
don't like birds. But anyway, this was
Well, live birds.
live birds.
Right.
Oh no, I don't even like them old stuffed things either. You know. But anyway. Anything with feathers. No, I'll retract that. But anyway, you tell it, Tim.
The episode we did, it was about
It was a Christmas episode.
It was a Christmas episode, and I think you told Damon later on that you had a fear of birds, by which time he'd already ordered the 25 turkeys, live turkeys, to be on the set. And these turkeys, they stink, they crap everywhere. And he said, you have to stand on a table and be in the room with these 25 turkeys. And God love you, you were not very happy. So you were.
Well, I wasn't happy, but what it was that really got.
But he didn't give a.
He didn't give a damn. He enjoys you. You know the way whenever Damon's having a real laugh, his wee shoulders, go like this here. Well, he was standing there going like this here, and there I am standing like a prune in the middle. And I thought I'd done so well because I had this coat, and it was black wool, and it had like a red. Rough collar, and I thought, you see, that would blend in with the turkeys. Never had the coat on me again after it. But anyway, I'm standing there, but you don't remember the lights were on. It was like as if you were going to do a nude scene. We've never done one of those. But anyway,
not yet.
Well,
hang on, I've just got the plot for the Christmas episode.
Oh my!
Only fans. No,
well, if anybody's ever said to you, like, when is the headpiece going to stop? You can tell them that. But anyway, I'm standing there on the table, and they did it quite cleverly. There was a pen sort of thing, wire, and the turkeys, but we weren't allowed to talk. Do you remember we had to be very...
Really upset the turkeys.
No, the turkeys would have a heart attack. That's what they told us. The turkeys... God, I see, here's me standing flipping, having a heart attack, and they don't give a darn. But anyway, the turkeys all come in, and then gradually the lights, came up. Oh,
you weren't allowed to say Christmas either, were you?
Did you get one to take home with you?
The turkeys, they definitely would have had a heart attack. But it was an amazing, set. And the only other time, this is you, I remember being in an awkward position was when we were in Spain. And we were...
we put you on a rack.
That's what I was just going to say.
To stretch you.
We went... There was a lovely scene, and you just saw us walking into a proper, ordinary police station. But then the next thing, it was the whole...
torture chamber
thing. And
Spanish Inquisition.
Spanish Inquisition.
Spanish never let us back, haven't they?
Spanish Inquisition thing. And some of them were... sorry.
That's all right.
Some of them were chained up like this, and others were this here. But where did they put me? They put me on a rack. So, you talk about when your toes is in your nose. But anyway, I'm lying there like this here, and our esteemed director, he wasn't very genteel. Move your legs, put your feet down in there. You see, so when my feet were in it, I couldn't get my arms into the handle bits, you see.
It's too big a rack.
Too big a rack. So I said, start turning the thing. Can you shorten it a bit? Well, you talk about a laugh. I will be rude to say what I said because I was lying there and the sweat lashing off me, and then they would film me a wee bit at the top. You see, with me with my arms in here, and then they would go down here and film my legs, in the thing. And I remember when I was lying there thinking, God save us! The last time I was in this position was in 1973 in the maternity ward.
Kevin Burr.
But anyway, but we've had some laughs, haven't we?
But he's quite cruel, though, isn't he?
He's a nasty devil.
Do you remember the time we were recreating the scene from Here to Eternity?
Oh, that was great.
Oh, sure.
And you didn't realise that you actually had to be in the...
the
beach and lie on the beach and the water come up over you. You thought they were just going to...
I was told none of that. And
well, it did say in the script, Olivia.
I didn't say it that way. Olivia in bathing costume, pretending to be Deborah Carr.
It did say in the water.
Edge of water. But you know what the really sickening thing about that was? Do you remember the beautiful wee girl
Oh,
that,
yes.
this was a fantasy of yours, was not right?
Yes.
And we were playing. It was
No, we were making a film,
We were
and
making,
I was the male, and I'd cast a
You
young
were
lady
Burt
to play
Lancaster.
my wife, who was a rather young and attractive young woman,
young and attractive.
which you found out about and weren't happy about.
No,
and
not
put
at all.
yourself in the
Me
film.
madam. But she was a lovely wee girl. But anyway, if you had seen poor Claire, Lord of mercy on her, trying to
Is that
get
costume designer?
costume designer, trying to get a swimming costume the same as this wee girl had on her that fitted me and her. So anyway, that was all right. They filmed it with Tim lying, you see, back, you know, like this, he had the water rippling up over him. And
This is in Crawfordsburn Beach.
This
not
is
very
Crawfordsburn
warm.
on a cold, freezing cold day.
In October or something.
In October or something.
Yeah.
So the next thing, she all over him, like this here, and the scene, and then it was cut. But then the next thing, which I definitely was not told. I was in the water.
Yeah.
What did I do? Run out of the water like this here in this flipping bathing costume and throw myself down beside him in your face. Whenever you open your eyes. And it was funny, but wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
it
had
was
to
so
run up
hilarious.
the beach as well. And
then, yes, I ran off.
As the director went and slow-moed it with me.
And every part of your
but
body
I
going like
I
this.
had my moves where we kind of going up and down, and he was. I'd have to say it was very funny, but it was very cruel.
Well,
It
I
was
felt
very
that,
cruel.
yes,
It was
I
very
felt that.
cruel.
You know,
I do love it when we're doing the stage show, though, when you have the first line of the show.
oh, sugar.
That's my favourite bit.
Yeah, you're right. He stands, Damon stands behind me, first line, and naturally you're a bit. And here's Damon. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Olivia. I don't know how you're going to do this. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. See me, I would die if I was first on. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. And he does it every time. If I'm like 50th onto the stage, oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. 50th on the stage. But I love it.
He's very encouraging, isn't he?
Very,
Part
very.
of the fun.
Well, see, this podcast is going very well. People are asking for people like yourself to be on it and stuff like that. And we're thinking of doing, because do you know what I dug out the other day?
What?
This is the Give My Head.
Oh,
Page
my
book
Lord.
That came out about 20-something years ago. And there are scripts in this. There are original scripts in this. And somebody's suggesting, I think it's quite a good idea, we might do this on a podcast, is get yourself and a few of the actors and recreate 2 ceasefires in a wedding. Just do a read-through of
Oh,
2
I would
ceasefires in a
love
wedding.
that. That would
There's
be
some very good
brilliant.
jokes in there, and you didn't balls it up, which is why we've stuck with you for 27 years or whatever. How many
You
years
see,
have we got?
please, I implore you, save me.
Well, that goes back to 1999, but we've done 100.
Really?
95, you.
No, oh, 92 ceasefires. Oh, God, it was
1995.
1995.
30th anniversary. We can do it next year for the
Well,
yeah.
second 30th anniversary.
Anniversary
2
podcast.
ceasefires in a wedding.
Yeah,
Live
yeah.
podcast. Do you want to book the SSE, mate, or do you want to?
Let's go for it.
I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Will I be in it?
What?
Will I be in it?
Well, if you're sober,
I'm good.
if you're any good. No, we can't do it without you now, can
Oh,
we?
thank
We're
you,
kind
my
of
dad.
stuck
You
with
see,
you.
that's it.
But look at those faces on that there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Horribly young.
Yeah, no, don't.
Yeah, look at that. That's,
I'm wearing an RUC badge too. Look at
I
that.
know, God, that's
Really?
back.
Oh, that's right.
The
Pretty
RUC,
Pisney.
yeah, we've been through the entire peace process. You know, bloody hell.
Oh, dear. And done a lot better than...
Not as good as Jerry Adams, I don't think, but you know. not bad.
But no, it's...
We had Pamela Ballantyne on.
oh, I bet she was lovely.
And she was talking about you and her in a certain play called The Vagina Monologue.
That's right.
You did the Vagina Monologue.
I did the Vagina Monologues.
My mother mustn't have liked that either.
Oh.
My mother wasn't a fan of Give Me Headpiece. Said kept shouting.
Yeah. Well...
Too loud.
Too loud.
Too loud.
Yeah, my mother didn't. Well, I'll tell you a funny wee thing about that. No, touch wood now. I'm quite prone to break bones and what have you. And just before it, it fell. It was the time you hurt your ankle, your foot.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
And I broke my femur. That's right. That's a bit up there, isn't it? But anyway, so
We were in the hospital at the same time.
we were in the hospital at the same
We were a few corridors away from me.
I was upstairs in the trauma, and you were downstairs. I
Aye,
think.
with a broken heel.
And poor Tim was up and down the stairs. But anyway, that was all right. The guy who was directing it, shall be nameless, kept coming into me in the hospital. Are you going to be all right, girl? Are you going to be all right? We'll see. But anyway, what we did was I was in a wheelchair because we were static. We were just in chair and things. And I was wheeled the first night. It was down in, I can't remember now. But anyway, Cookstown. So anyway, I was wheeled onto the stage in the dark, and just placed. And that was fine. It was great. So went very well. We read it, but we knew it, that sort of way. Because we read it as you're reading monologues and but anyway, it went very, very well. And so the next night, it went, thank God, a wee bit better. Even it was still in Cookstown. And whenever I come off the stage, we took our bow and then black, and they wheeled me off. I says, do you see that? Well, it was one of my monologues. I says, I don't remember doing that last night. And they said, Olivia, you don't remember doing anything of last night's play. I was so doped up to the eyeballs. And I was loving every minute of it. I think it was...
And you were crap?
Well, actually, it was all right, but it was just my memory. I had no recall of doing, some of them were really heartbreaking, and all I could think of, I had the one about, mutilation and things like that, and all I could think was, dear Lord, please don't let me have made a hash of that, because it would just be awful.
You would never do that.
Well, what if you're high as a kite on morphine? But
well, you do have that thing. I have to say, like I've always noticed about you is like, I don't know where you find it. I don't know where it's in there somewhere. But every time, as soon as the camera's on you, as soon as it's the first line of the show,
thank you.
You just suddenly come alive.
That's because I love it.
Yeah. But you do have that
amazing
ability.
Well, that's we were talking about Jimmy Young earlier on. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
And it's to be careful. Yes, we're all nervous, but you must be in control. Right? Because I used to be, when I was in the amateur theatre. I excuse this is a bit vulgar, but I actually booked a toilet for myself because just to be sick and to, it was as bad as that. But the minute, as you say, Damon, I walked on, I was grand, as long as I was confident in the play and what I was doing. But I've been very, very lucky. I've had a great. I am having a great career. I'm having a great career.
And everywhere you go, people go, Ma, do you get that every day?
I do, every day. But the other thing that I get every day, where's Da? So my stock answer is that, in jail.
In jail. Well, they keep on, where's Ma? I said, don't let her out.
Exactly.
Men at home making the dinner.
All that sort of thing. And then they go, oh no.
You say to me, where's Da? I say, what are you asking me for? I'm a grounder now.
But it's so funny because, and that's a funny thing about you saying about age. We have all aged, but matured. That's the word. But yet we're still playing and it's one that always gets me is Cal's age. You range from 42 to 48 to 51 to
well, whatever suits at the time of writing,
whatever falls in with the with the thing. It's
he's actually younger than me. And yet,
I know.
And yet people believe that he's my dad.
Yeah.
Well, tell that
Such
story.
a brilliant actor.
Tell that
A
story
bit less now over the years.
Tell that story about the taxi driver. That's a great story.
What's that?
About you and him. And he said, I'll tell it then. The taxi driver turned around to you and said, your dad must be a right age now.
Oh, yeah. Your dad must be a right age now.
Love it.
Oh, that's a great story.
But
We put you through a lot, but you've had fun. Have you a favourite episode? Is there an episode you go, you know what, I love that one?
I loved Rome. I loved every minute of Rome. It was great.
Oh, that's the one where you kidnapped Hugo Duncan then. You preferred Rome?
No.
No. For a scene. A scene. It was the kidnap of Hugo. God love that man. He was bound to a bed and chains.
And you set fire to yourself?
I set fire to him. a dinner or a wedding suit on and a big rosette here and a top hat, sort of this shape here on him, and I'm all over him. God help him. And he was up for it. He was super, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
You know,
He
and he
was.
keeps saying, "Hello, yeah. Any more word, any more, wee parts."
And then, but in Rome, we give you a sexy man, we give you a sexy cardinal.
God,
sort of
I was.
Thornbirds, didn't it?
It was lovely, and on the back of a scooter. Oh, it was great. And then I played.
We threw you in a fountain as well.
Oh,
when you
okay,
did
could
They
that.
try to drown you in a fountain.
Have we
Did do that.
time to tell that?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was. What were the different characters I played? I played.
You did Marilyn Monroe. You did the Marilyn Monroe dress.
I did Marilyn Monroe, the blow up dress,
And then the Dolce Vita.
No,
the Dolce
Vita,
Nick
yeah.
Ekberg, yeah.
the Anita
Ekberg.
Ekberg. That was in the pond or the thing, and the other one was Top Hat dancing
Ginger
down
Rogers.
the
Spanish Steps.
the Spanish Steps. But anyway, so I did all those, and this was the big day. And Shane Bunting, who is a darling fella, and it's always very discreet to me to see our dressing rooms out of this world. So I was changed at the back of a van. And so what was happening was my legs, and I couldn't understand this, my legs were being bound up in black plastic bags. And they came right up and underneath here. And Shane Bunting kept knocking at the door, and Shane's very shy, and coming in with this like a yardstick, and just putting it up against me like this. So I thought, the name of God, is Shane at, But anyway, he went, and this happened 3 or 4 times. Then it was so funny because on top of that then was this magnificent dress put on me, which had been specially made for me by Geraldine Connon. That's a wee plug for you, Geraldine, who's an amazing dress designer. But anyway, this dress and the feathers and all the rest, and this was so. Out I'm going, I'm slip, you see, with the black things up. And Shane, once again, tested me, and then he put the stick into the pond thing. So anyway, that was all right. It's all right to go in. Holy Moses, what they'd been doing is putting the stick in, but it was landing on a big stone. And
So they got the height wrong.
look at him. I can say, right, and my lovely wig and my dress and all that.
We take health and safety very seriously on our show.
And they couldn't have given a damn about me. All it was, oh, your costume, watch the way. So anyway, that was all right. Eventually, we found a bit that I could stand up in. So we did all the dancing and the splashing about, wee, and all like this here. And the cardinal, he was in the pond, or I keep saying the pond, the fountain, with me. And it was all very lovely. So then it came time to get out. So I thought, flip me. And all the while, all this is dragging down. I mean, I was really becoming almost indecent with the dress, you see, with the water. So the next thing was your guy, he was lovely, but he was very precious, wasn't he? He goes over and skips out, and immediately there's all these towels and everything put around him. And give us a hand, So over I go, and there's to the edge, trying to find this big stone again. And there's poor Shane looking and feeling, I know he was feeling totally guilty as if the whole thing had been his fault, which it hadn't.
Was. Which it was.
So anyway, they started pulling me out. Oh, God. And as they were pulling me out, the dress started. And it came down and down and down.
OnlyFans? OnlyFans, and down there's a chance.
And I laughed because poor Shane, he was trying to hold me, doing this. And I said, oh, for the love of God, Shane, I said, just look, but get me out.
Just look.
Oh, he was such a gentleman.
The glamour of filming, eh?
The glamour of film. Back to the back of the van to get all the plastic. Oh, but this time I was like Billy Connolly's, the big knicker thing. Because my legs were out this width of the water. Oh, that was amazing. That was great. Oh, I had a wonderful time on that one.
We've had some fun, haven't we?
Oh, totally. And the place, sometimes people are very surprised whenever you go over the places we have actually been.
Yeah.
And where we did specials,
Don't mention New York. Everybody not mention.
Oh, I wasn't in New York.
There's an episode in New York that Olivia didn't get to, but it's only
Ali and I didn't get
years
to.
ago, and you've got it now. Forget about it. It's all right. We'll go to New York in the Christmas special that we haven't written yet. We'll do that.
But when we get to New York.
No, you won't. But all right. Olivia, we're running out of time. We genuinely
sorry.
no gibberish. No, we'll bring you back if we can't get another guest. We'll bring you back.
Same fee.
Same fee, absolutely same fee. A lovely, delicious cup of drip coffee.
Yes, drip coffee.
Olivia, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate you. We will get you back, and I think we a couple of people have said we might do that with a live podcast, recreate some of the episodes of Give Me a Headpiece because people are asking for it. And we're going to be bringing some of the other guests of Give Me a Headpiece on. Dan Gordon has agreed to come on at some stage.
Brilliant.
We haven't got him yet, so we will be bringing other.
He'll be hireable.
He'll be hireable. So keep watching. Oh, by the way. I'm still on tour with Ridiculous. Am I still on tour, by the way? When's this going out? Hang on. I might be advertising something and I'm not even on tour anymore. When does this go out, Dan? The 11th of November. Yes, there's still tickets for the Lyric Theatre on the 17th of November at the Riverside in Coleraine, the Down Art Centre, Tim McGarry live. It's a good show, isn't it?
And it is a brilliant show, seriously. Absolutely fantastic.
How much is he paying you?
Well, I'm going to pay her now. That's very kind of you.
If you would all leave the room, I'll get paid.
Thank you very much for listening to the Give My Head podcast. Subscribe below. Leave any comments. Anybody wants to sponsor us, we're here. And thank you very much for listening. See you again soon. Thank you.